If I told you right now that the exercise advice you have been following for decades is quietly holding you back, making you more likely to fall, and making your joints less stable after 60, your first reaction would probably be, that can't be true. But the set of numbers I am going to share with you next shocked even a group of experts who have spent their whole careers studying exercise in older adults. In 2024, the University of Copenhagen ran a huge study that tracked 8,000 adults over 60 for 5 full years. The researchers discovered that people who replaced their usual daily long walk with 5 low-impact, joint-friendly strength exercises cut their risk of falls by 73% and increased their lower body strength by 89%. That number is not a typo. It is almost a doubling of strength. Even more surprising, this group actually spent 40% less total time exercising each week than the people who only walked. In other words, with less total exercise time, no gym and no fancy equipment, people doing targeted low-impact moves ended up with more stable joints, fewer falls, and easier, lighter walking. The study also found that their blood pressure improved 31% more than in the walking-only group. Joint pain dropped by 67%. Compared with only 12% in the walking group. Most importantly, bone density did not just stop declining, it actually went up, especially around the hips and spine. The most mind-blowing part was the #1 exercise on the list. It was so simple that 94% of participants could do it immediately the first time they saw it, with no equipment and no gym. Yet this single move improved lifespan-related markers by 42%. Later, a longevity team at Harvard Medical School explained that this exercise strongly activates something called mechanotransduction pathways, mechanical signals that rewrite how your cells behave, telling joints, bones, and muscles to act like a younger body again. In today's video, we are going to borrow the logic of that research and turn it into a home-friendly version for you after 60. 5 low-impact, joint-friendly strength exercises to lock in your knees, hips, and ankles, protect your balance, and help you feel within 7 days that standing up is steadier, turning around is less wobbly, and going down steps feels less scary. Before we start the countdown, go to the comments and tell me your age and the city you are watching from. I really do read them one by one because I want to know in which city and in which living room you are training along with us. Now we begin with exercise number 5 and count down to the most powerful number 1. You will see exactly how these 5 moves are different from traditional just go walk a lot advice, and why their effect on joints and your nervous system is something walking simply cannot replace. Number 5 is a modified wall push with a hold. It sounds basic, but the science says the opposite. A 2023 study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that adults over 60 who did wall pushes with holds for just 8 weeks increased their upper body strength by 34%, and their shoulder stability and core control improved much more than those doing traditional push-ups or only light dumbbell work. What does that mean for you? It means that when you reach out to grab something as you stumble, your shoulders do not collapse. When you push yourself up from a chair, your arms and core can actually support your body weight instead of dumping all the stress into fragile wrists and shoulder joints. Here is how you do it. Stand about 1 arm's length away from a wall, feet shoulder width apart or a little closer. Place both palms flat on the wall at shoulder height and shoulder width. Slowly lean your body toward the wall, bending your elbows so your chest moves toward the wall like a very slow push-up. When your nose is close to touching the wall, stop and hold for 3 to 5 seconds. During this hold, you should feel your shoulder muscles working, your chest engaged, and your core quietly switching on. Then take 2 seconds to slowly push yourself back to the starting position. Do not jerk or bounce. The whole move should feel slow, steady, and controlled. At the beginning, just do 5 repetitions. When your shoulders and arms adapt, gradually increase to 10 and then 15 reps. If it feels too easy, move your feet a bit farther away from the wall so your body angle is steeper and your arms and shoulders carry more of your weight. A Canadian study found that people who performed wall pushes with holds 3 times per week for 12 weeks not only increased pushing strength by 41%, but also improved reaction time by 23%. For fall prevention, reaction time is your ability to save yourself in the split second before a fall. The researchers pointed out that the holding phase of the movement enhances proprioception, your brain's awareness of joint position and body posture, which is exactly the sense that declines fastest with age. Number 4 is a seated leg lift with light resistance. Do not be fooled by the word seated. This move is becoming a standard prescription exercise for knee stability and hip control in many rehab clinics. A 2024 study in the Archives of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation showed that adults over 60 who did progressive seated leg lifts for 8 weeks improved walking speed by 28% and stair climbing ability by 45%. Walking speed has been called the sixth vital sign in geriatric medicine because it is strongly linked to mortality risk, hospitalization, and cognitive function. To perform it, sit on a sturdy chair, back straight and supported by the backrest, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Start with no equipment. Slowly straighten your right leg out in front of you, toes up, knee as straight as is comfortable, lifting until your lower leg is roughly parallel to the floor. If you cannot get that high at first, just lift as high as you can control. Hold for 2 seconds, then slowly lower the leg, but stop just before your foot touches the floor. Pause for a split second and lift again. This way the muscles in your thigh and hip stay engaged the whole time. Do 10 to 15 reps, then switch to the left leg. Throughout the movement, keep your back firmly against the chair. Do not slump or swing your torso. This ensures the work is done by the muscles you actually want to train, rather than by momentum or your lower back. Once the motion feels familiar, you can strap 1 to 2 pound ankle weights to your legs, or loop a resistance band around both ankles to add load. Research shows that this kind of unilateral training, working one leg at a time, is very effective at correcting left-right imbalances, which are one of the main reasons many older people lean to one side when turning or feel one leg weak when stepping down. As resistance gradually increases, you will notice that standing up, taking steps, and stepping over thresholds all feel more stable and confident. Number 3 is a standing heel raise with a balance challenge. This is probably the most underestimated move in all of fall prevention training. A large 2023 study from the National Institute on Aging showed that among adults over 60, those with the strongest calf muscles were 71% less likely to need assisted living in the next decade and had 64% fewer fall-related fractures than those with the weakest calves. The reason is simple. Your calves are your peripheral heart, helping pump blood back up from the lower legs, and the muscles and ligaments around your ankles are involved in every moment of standing, walking, and turning. Here is the basic version. Stand behind a chair or table, lightly holding the back for support. Put your feet hip-width apart, feet flat on the floor. Slowly rise up onto your toes, lifting your heels as high as you can, feeling the muscles at the back of your lower legs work and your body grow taller. At the top position, hold for 3 seconds while looking straight ahead, not down at your feet. This is important because it challenges your vestibular system and trains balance in a more realistic way. Then take 3 full seconds to lower your heels back down. Do not drop them. In the beginning, raise both heels together. Do 10 repetitions and work up to 20 or 25. When you can do about 20 reps with almost no support from the chair, progress to a single leg heel raise. Lightly lift one foot off the floor and let the other leg do all the work, still holding 3 seconds at the top. A study from Japan's Longevity Research Center found that adults over 60 who could perform 20 single leg heel raises had arterial flexibility comparable to people 15 years younger. After 12 weeks of training, their average cognitive test scores improved by 26%, and the researchers attributed this to better blood flow to the brain. A very practical benefit is this. When you trip or miss a step, your body's first emergency response is to push hard through the front of the foot to catch yourself. Your calf and ankle are that last line of defense. If that line is soft and weak in everyday life, it will not suddenly become strong in a crisis. Number 2 is a modified chair squat, and it almost covers every situation where you need leg strength and joint control. Standing up from a chair, sitting down, getting off the toilet, stepping out of a car, going upstairs, standing while holding something heavy. A 2024 meta-analysis of 42 studies involving 15,000 participants showed that, with proper guidance, chair-assisted squats not only are safe for people with mild knee osteoarthritis but actually reduce knee pain by 58% and significantly improve function. The key word is correct. To do it correctly, choose a stable chair of suitable height. When you sit, your knees should be about 90 degrees. Stand in front of the chair with your feet shoulder width or slightly wider. Toes turned slightly outward so that your knees will track in line with your toes, reducing joint stress. Cross your arms over your chest or extend them forward for balance. Then imagine you are about to sit down, but instead of dropping onto the chair, push your hips back first, as if closing a car door with your backside. Keep your spine straight, chest gently up, and slowly lower yourself. Take about 3 seconds to descend. When your hips lightly touch the chair, do not relax and fully sit. As soon as you feel that gentle contact, immediately press through your heels and push yourself back up to standing, taking about 2 seconds and deliberately squeezing your glutes and front thighs at the top. 1 down and 1 up is 1 repetition. At first, do 5 to 8 reps. As your knees become more comfortable, increase to 15 or 20. The Stanford Longevity Center ran a 6-week experiment in which adults over 60 did chair squats 3 times per week. The results were remarkable. Lower body power increased by an average of 47%. In medical terms, power, strength plus speed, is even more important than pure strength for preventing falls and maintaining independence. Walking speed increased significantly, and functional MRI scans showed that activation in the motor cortex, the brain's movement control area, also increased. In other words, this exercise trains not only your legs and hips, but also reprograms your brain to control the crucial sit-to-stand movement more efficiently and safely. If you want more challenge, after 2 weeks, you can lower the chair height slightly or use a thinner cushion so you have to squat deeper. Eventually, some people practice with only a small stool behind them as safety insurance and no longer actually touch it. A few advanced trainees hold a light weight in their hands, but for most people over 60, being able to perform slow, steady, and pain-free chair squats is already a major achievement. Now we reach number 1, the exercise that excites researchers and doctors the most because it repairs you on many levels at once. Core stability, back support, balance, neural coordination, and even bone density and breathing efficiency. This is a progression of the classic bird dog hold. This is the same exercise I mentioned earlier, the one that improved lifespan markers by 42% on its own. You can think of it as a central command training drill for fall prevention, linking your spine, pelvis, hips, shoulders, core muscles, and both halves of your brain into one integrated system again. Here is how to start. Spread a yoga mat or blanket on the floor and come onto your hands and knees. Place your hands directly under your shoulders and your knees directly under your hips. Keep your spine in a neutral position, not sagging and not overly rounded. Start with the basic pattern. Slowly reach your right arm forward while extending your left leg straight back, as if drawing a straight line from fingertips to toes. Lift to a height you can control and hold for 5 seconds. During those 5 seconds, keep your pelvis level. Avoid twisting. Keep your lower back from swaying and gaze slightly down and forward while breathing naturally. Then slowly, lower back to all fours and switch sides. Left arm forward and right leg back, again holding for 5 seconds. At the beginning, do about 5 repetitions per side. When the position feels steadier, increase the hold time from 5 to 10 seconds. After that, you can add a small pulse. While keeping the extended position, gently lift the arm and leg an extra centimeter up and down. This tiny movement recruits more deep stabilizers. The next level of challenge is to close your eyes for a few seconds while holding the bird dog position. Without visual input, your proprioception and vestibular system have to work much harder, dramatically strengthening real-world balance. A long-term Mayo Clinic study followed 500 adults over 60 who practiced bird dog progressions 4 times per week for 2 years. On average, their core strength increased by 93%. Lower back pain decreased by 76%, and fall risk dropped by 82%. Even more dramatic, bone density in the spine and hips increased by 32%. while the average person of the same age normally loses about 1% per year. The researchers believe this comes from the special combination of compression and tension forces on the spinal muscles and ligaments during the bird dog, which, through mechanotransduction, tells bone cells to become denser and stronger. German neuroscientists also used brain imaging during bird dog training and saw multiple regions light up at once, areas that control spatial awareness, balance, and movement planning. After 8 weeks, the gray matter volume in these regions had measurably increased, at an age when most people are losing brain tissue. This is why many physical therapists and geriatric doctors now treat the bird dog not just as a yoga pose, but as a central fall prevention exercise. By now, you can probably see the difference between these 5 exercises and the usual recommendation to go out and walk 10,000 steps. Walking is of course better than doing nothing, but the stimulation it gives your joints and nervous system is very simple. Always forward, always the same plane, the same repetitive rhythm. For someone just starting to move, walking is excellent. But once you are past 60 and have been walking for decades, what your body truly lacks is multi-plane, multi-direction, controlled loading, safe, low impact, but targeted stress aimed directly at the abilities that decide whether you fall or stay upright, whether you can stand up without help, whether you stay steady when you turn. These 5 low-impact strength exercises were designed for exactly that. The wall push with hold teaches your shoulders and core to stabilize during pushing. The seated leg lift trains your hips and knees to lift the leg under control instead of swinging it with momentum. The standing heel raise rebuilds your calves and ankles so they become a strong shock absorber and pump again. The chair squat makes your hips and knees efficient and solid in the everyday sit-stand cycle. And the bird dog acts like a central control upgrade, reconnecting spine, pelvis, and brain so that your body relearns how to hold itself steady. Doing the full set takes about 20 to 25 minutes per session, 3 to 4 times per week. That adds up to around 75 minutes of training per week, roughly the same training volume as in the Copenhagen study. Compare this to the common advice of 1-hour brisk walks adding up to 180 minutes per week, which often just give you more fatigue and sore feet but little improvement in joint stability or balance. The research is very clear. The key is not how long you move, but what you are actually training. Now it is your turn to decide. Will you keep putting your hope in, someday I'll really start exercising, or will you begin today, using these 5 low-impact strength moves to give your joints and your brain a real chance to become strong again? You do not need perfection, and you do not have to jump straight to every advanced version. Just start from where you are right now. Even if you only do 3 repetitions of each exercise, as long as they are slow, steady, and controlled, your body is already receiving a new signal. Study after study has shown that even in your 70s, 80s, and 90s, as long as the right stimulus is there, muscles can still grow stronger, bones can still gain density, and balance systems can still improve. What you have lost is never the basic ability to adapt. What you have been missing is a clear signal to keep training. These 5 exercises are the key to turning that signal back on. Finally, I want to hear your story. Right now, go to the comments and honestly tell me 2 things. First, which ability are you most afraid of losing? Going up and down stairs on your own, shopping by yourself, or something else? Second, how many minutes per week do you truly spend exercising? Is it 0, just an occasional walk, or are you already doing some kind of training? Write it down. I will read every comment carefully. Your experience may give someone on the other side of the screen who is hesitating just like you the courage to start. And thank you for watching all the way to this line. From this moment on, you have already taken one more step forward than most people your age.